What do you think of Nick Diaz?
I've never met the guy, so I don't really have much of an opinion on him. He's a great fighter, and that's about the extent of my judgment so far.
In all your years, MMA, you and him, you've been around the sport a long time. You've never crossed paths.
Never.
Wow, that's
Never.
weird.
Yeah, I've been around a lot of guys. I never met Nick Diaz.
Is this the kind of fight that you love, like as just a competitor, a guy who you know is not going to play any games with you? He's going to come forward. He's going to maybe talk a little smack. You're going to punch him. He's going to punch you in the face. You're going to go back and forth. Is that the kind of fight that Carlos Condit loves?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm a fighter. I love to fight. Nick Diaz is a fighter. We're going to step in there, and we are going to fight.
Why do you think you deserve to win this fight? It's a little controversial, of course.
I punched Nick Diaz in the face and hit him with harder shots, and was able to take him out of his game. I won the fight.
Were you 100% confident that they would score it for you when the fight was completed?
Yes.
Yeah. No doubts.
Nope.
What was he saying to you during the fight?
He was telling me to fight a couple times. He told me my nose was bleeding, asked me why my nose was bleeding, and I don't know. My nose was bleeding before I even went out there. I had I don't know.
A lot of pressure on him, not only because he's coming back after almost 2 years, year and a half away. He's fighting in his hometown. There's this potential super fight with Anderson looming. There's a lot of talk about future stuff, and maybe sometimes not on the fight at hand Saturday night. Do you feel like that's to your advantage and to his disadvantage?
Well, as much as the media is looking towards the Anderson Silva GSP super fight, as much as people are kind of looking past me, I don't feel that George is doing the same. I think George is taking this fight seriously. From what he says, he's preparing, he's focused on me. So I feel that he's going to be ready for the fight.
Are you annoyed that Anderson is coming to this fight? This isn't a guy who usually shows up to fights unless he's some way involved. Does that bother you?
No, it's awesome. I love Anderson Silva. He gets, Anderson's gonna watch me fight. That's awesome. But I also, I'm gonna spoil the party. I'm gonna mess up the plans, and whether they want to make the super fight after I beat George, that's up to them. Obviously. That's not where I wanted to be. I didn't want to be under George taking elbows. But I would say that in addition to being sweaty, the blood also made it really, really hard to grip for any sort of submissions. So that made things tricky, and made it harder to hold on to him. While he was kind of posturing up to drop more strikes. So yeah, I mean that it definitely had an effect in the fight, but I think it looked cool. Everybody likes a bloody fight, right? I felt whether I kicked or whether I didn't, he was probably going to be able to take me down, so I might as well kick. I was almost closed it out with one of them too. It was more the timing of the kicks than anything. Game planning for George, we were working on the timing. If he's shooting in and I can time a kick and catch him with it, then it's good on me.
Where were you when you landed the kick? I mean, did you feel like you were able to get a punch coming down from the top? Was it like one punch away? If you could have gotten that real clean shot in, did you feel he was gone?
I felt like if I put another couple on him, because I hit him with I think 2 pretty hard elbows afterwards. I had him pretty close. If I was able to continue to maybe put a barrage on him, I might have got the stoppage. I wouldn't say that I underestimated him. I just, I would have liked to have created more scrambles, and I, didn't. His top game was pretty formidable, and he was able to hit me with some good shots. He cut me open, I think, in the first or the second. I'd have liked to have not been on my back so long, but it wasn't. It wasn't the nightmare that it's been for other guys, I guess.
171 for ruthless Robbie Lawler.
I told you this earlier this week. It always felt, at least to me, that you wanted to be back here. I got that sense from you. Elite XC, Strike Force, all that stuff. There's Dana White. That's got to feel good, right? I got that impression that you always wanted to be back here. How does it feel to finally be back?
I'm very happy to be back. I'm with the best organization in the world, and I'm ready to go.
Now, you beat a guy like that. Can we say that Robbie Lawler is a top 5 welterweight in the UFC?
You can say whatever you want. I'm just going to go back to the drawing board and get back to work and work on my skills and get ready to beat people up again.
Ariel Helwani in Montreal, just days away now from UFC 158, and we're being joined by Carlos Condit, who meets Johnny Hendricks this Saturday night live on pay-per-view. So in this fight, originally you were supposed to fight Rory McDonald. Does that bother you that you're not getting this fight, considering the fact that he called you out, made it on a big stage like Fox? Was it hard to then get yourself remotivated for a new guy?
Initially, yes, because we didn't have an opponent for a few days. I found out like a Saturday afternoon we didn't have an opponent till Monday evening. A couple days I was a little bit bummed out. I was excited for that fight. I had a lot of motivation to fight him. He called me out. He's done real well. He's got a lot of hype behind him. But when I found out I was fighting Johnny Hendricks, all the disappointment kind of washed away. Great fight. It's an even bigger fight than the fight with McDonald.
You think so? Why?
Because he's been on such a run. He's beat Fitch, beat Koscheck, beat Martin Kampmann. I think he is the #1 contender. So, it's he's got some status right now. I'm looking to solidify myself as the #1 contender.
You think that it's still possible, even if GSP is still the champ, that you can get another shot at him?
Yeah, if I win this fight, it's possible. But the way things pan out, you never know. With Nick Diaz coming off a loss and a suspension and getting the immediate title shot, you never know. It's a crazy game.
Ariel Helwani in Seattle alongside ruthless Robbie Lawler, who meets Bobby Voelker this Saturday night at UFC on Fox 8. And Robbie, it's good to see you again. Originally, you were supposed to fight Tarek Safdien, then Siyar Bahadrzada. Now it's Bobby Voelker. How frustrating has this been for you?
Not frustrating at all. I just concentrate on myself, get myself ready physically and mentally, and my coaches more or less worry about my opponent, and I just show up for practice and they push me.
Ariel Helwani post-fight at UFC on Fox 8 alongside Robbie Lawler, who just knocked out Bobby Voelker in the second round. Robbie, I'm feeling it. You are feeling good right now. You're enjoying this. There's a big smile somewhere behind that just kind of serious look of yours.
Yeah, I'm excited. Camp went really well. They pushed me. They got me ready at ATT, and I just was able to go out there and show what I'm capable of.
I know you said earlier this week that you don't really study tape, but was this the kind of guy that you thought you could knock out?
I knew I could knock out anyone, plain and simple, but I do watch tape just closer to my fight and look for little things that I might be able to expose. Mentally, I want to see a little bit, so that's what I did.
Second time at 170 now in the UFC. How'd you feel this time as far as the weight cut?
I felt good. Weight cut was really good. I felt my footwork was better this time. My legs were under me a little bit more, but that's just really good training, guys pushing me at top team and getting after me.
Ariel Helwani post-fight at UFC Fight Night 27 alongside Carlos Condit, who just stopped Martin Kampmann in the 4th round. Carlos, congratulations on a very impressive win. You look like you were a man on a mission out there tonight. Do you feel somewhat relieved to get back on the winning track?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a competitor. I do not like to lose. I train really, really, really hard, and and this, it's a great relief to be back in the win column.
There are so many interesting options for you next. I know John Anik talked to you about it in the cage after the fight, but what do you think really makes sense for you? Obviously, Johnny and George are going to fight in November. There's maybe the Nick Diaz rematch out there. Tarek Safdien said he wanted to fight the winner. What do you think they'll give to you next?
I've fought pretty much every guy in the top 5 of the division, so there's a lot of intriguing rematches out there. Possibly George St. Pierre, possibly Johnny Hendricks, possibly Rory McDonald, obviously. Nick Diaz. I don't know what he's up to. You never know. There's good fights. No matter what it is, it's exciting.
Is there someone in particular though that you want?
Johnny Hendricks. That one was close, and had it gone to a 4th, I think things may have been different. So that's one that I'd like. But I'd welcome any of those fights.
Go Robbie! Go Robbie!
Ariel Helwani in Las Vegas for UFC 167 alongside Robbie Lawler, who meets Rory McDonald this Saturday night live on pay-per-view. And Robbie, it's good to see you. What a year it has been for you. 2-0 thus far in the UFC and your return to the UFC. How would you characterize this year? Unexpected, joyful? I mean, to come back and do what you've done thus far, pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, it's exciting, but I'm not amazed by what I did. I knew what I was capable of, and I'm excited to be in the UFC and do what I do best.
Ariel Helwani post-fight at UFC 167 alongside Robbie Lawler, who just defeated Rory McDonald via split decision. Robbie, you've had some very big wins in your career. Was that the biggest?
Yes, it was a huge crowd, 20th anniversary, 10 years since I fought in the UFC, and it was just a great fight against a really, really good opponent who was near the top, and just a good day.
You told me on Wednesday you haven't been amazed by this renaissance that you've enjoyed in the UFC. Honestly, now, you're 3-0 this year. You just beat Rory McDonald. Are you amazed yet?
Comeback of the year, I'm not amazed because I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm not crazy. I know what I'm capable of, and that's why I've been doing this long.
You know what? I'm just constantly trying to improve. Got some different tricks. Cool thing about Jackson is we got guys coming in from all over the world, bringing different skill sets and styles, and we're there to learn from each other and to teach each other, and that's why it's such a great exchange of information, and that's why we're successful.
I'm ready to embrace the sport, the media, and do those kind of things. And I'm excited because of the high level I'm fighting at and all the work I've put in. It's all coming down to fighting in the biggest organization in the world for the biggest belt, the welterweight belt in the UFC. So I'm excited. No, not really. I wasn't too worried about his takedowns, and I wasn't too worried about his punching. I just was trying to time him and see what was out there and try to take advantage of it.
And finally, it was obviously a very close decision. Could have gone either way, I think, in a lot of people's opinion up until that last round. Did you personally believe the fight went in your favor, or do you have a problem with the decision?
The thing is when you leave it up to the judges, those things happen. I just didn't do enough tonight, they thought, and need to go back to work. Obviously, work on some things, work on throwing a little bit, maybe some more punches. And I thought I fought a pretty good fight, defended some takedowns, and it was a hell of a fight. And he brought it, and he was in shape, and he got the victory.
Ariel Helwani in Las Vegas for UFC 173 alongside Robbie Lawler, who meets Jake Ellenberger this Saturday night on pay-per-view. And Robbie, we just saw you essentially 2 months ago. Was it your idea to come back this soon, or was it the UFC's idea?
Oh, it's always my idea. No, I worked out the day after, or the Monday after the fight, just to get some blood pumping to my muscles. I felt good. Took the rest of the week off on vacation, and the following week I was doing 2 days, not sparring or anything. I was lifting twice a day and maybe doing a cardio session, and my body felt good. I was pushing it really hard, and harder than usual for that far out from a fight. And I just let the UFC know on a Thursday that if they needed me, I'd be ready to fight, and they called me the following day and offered me a fight.
That was a grueling 5-round fight. Were you banged up at all after?
No, not really. I mean, it was a good fight, but my body felt good. Especially when I gave it that week of rest, I felt really good when I started touching weights and working out. My body just responded quickly, so I felt really good.
How often do you think about that fight? How close you were? You were essentially a minute away from being the champion in many people's eyes.
I don't really think about it too much now. I mean, I'm always pushing towards the future, pushing towards the next fight. Yeah, it was tough coming that close and not succeeding and going out there trying to knock them out and not doing that. But it's a learning experience. It's all about getting better and controlling the things that you can control, which is getting better day to day and pushing yourself to be a better fighter.
Wanting another title shot right away. Do you feel like you did enough to get it done tonight? Because there are a lot of key fights at 170 right now.
Yeah, I mean, I did a good job tonight. Got a stoppage and just put everyone on notice, and I'll definitely be in the conversation.
And it seemed like during the second round, you actually were laughing a couple of times after some takedowns. I was wondering if you could think about that moment and bring us back. I mean, what's going through your head as you're laughing in the middle of the fight?
I'm just having fun and enjoying myself out there and trying to beat people up. Basic, just having a good time and enjoying what I do for a living.
Ariel Helwani in San Jose, California, alongside Robbie Lawler, who meets Matt Brown this Saturday night at UFC on Fox number 12. Robbie, good to see you. Thank you for the time. You know, I remember we saw you not that long ago in Las Vegas in May, and it seemed like you wanted to take a bit of time off after that fight. How hard did they have to convince you to come back on, 2 months' notice or so to fight in this big fight?
They didn't have to do very much convincing. I wanted a break, but it was a good opportunity to fight on a Fox card and headline it, and I jumped at the opportunity.
Did you get a break at all?
Sort of a break. I worked out the following week, just some light maintenance work, and then got right back in the gym, hitting it hard and getting ready for a fight.
You know, I work on a show called UFC Tonight, and we just put together a list of your top 5 best knockouts. I worked on this, and I was wondering if you agreed with this list that we came together. I'm going to throw them out at you, and you tell me if you. I know you don't really watch your fights, but maybe you'll remember. Number 5 was the Tiki knockout. Like that one?
Yeah, it was a good fight. Whatever.
Ninja Hua, number 4. You remember that one?
Yeah, it was a good one. I finished him.
Yeah. Josh Koscheck, number 3.
Yeah, that was a huge fight coming back to the UFC and making a statement with a guy like Josh Koscheck.
Number 2 was Matt Lindland. Very unique one. He kind of flipped over. Remember that?
Yeah, it was a good knockout. Really good timing, and I had really good footwork that night, and it was clean.
What was number 1? What do you think? What do you think?
Manhoof?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that was a brutal fight. I mean, you're fighting a guy who has 26 wins, 25 knockouts. He's a very impressive opponent, and he was beating the crap out of my leg, and I happened to hit him with a big shot, and it was a good night.
That might be my favorite knockout of all time. Your leg was flying. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then you come back.
Yeah, he had brutal leg kicks, and I was just kind of letting it go because I didn't want to take any damage on it, and it ended up working out that day. So I don't know if I want to go do that.
How much pain were you in afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, I had to get surgery on my leg. I had some torn cartilage after the fight, but yeah, I had to keep massaging it, keep it moving so that it wouldn't stiffen up on me.
Yeah.
Just wanted to ask you. About the fight, and did you feel going into the 5th round that you needed to win the 5th round to ensure you won the fight?
Yeah, I just wanted to go out there and look to stop him, and that's what I tried to do. I mean, there's 2 winners in that ring tonight, or cage tonight, and he's very impressive, and he put on a good performance tonight.
You were hitting him with some of those left hands inside those short punches in the 1st round, and then it seemed like maybe you didn't land that punch again until the 5th round. Did he do any adjustment to take that short left hand away from you? Where?
I think he just hunkered down in front of me a little too much in that 5th round, and he's a hell of an opponent. I mean, he took a lot of shots, and I landed some big shots, and he kept coming. Everything they said about that guy was true, and he's very tough.
I had this grand idea that I was going to start over. This will probably not.
Ariel Helwani post-fight at UFC 181 alongside 2 men who do not need an introduction. That is Laborio, that is Conan. They are from American Top Team, and they finally got their first UFC champion. Robbie Lawler is the UFC champion. You have been there from the beginning. Can you put into words what it means for you and the team?
That's amazing feeling. It's just unbelievable feeling. It could have happened to a better person too. You know, that's a guy who was dedicated, had completely history in this sport, and it helps a lot. It came from where he came from, you know, with the Militage and the Militage, the whole entire team. You just keeping training with us, you know, have a lot of connection with them. I can be more happy, man. I really can. It really is. It's solidifying, you know, a dream.
It's just business as usual. If I had to carry the show, I would do that, but I'm just going to go out there and be me and get in Rory's face and get a knockout. I don't really concentrate on the promotion as much. I'm just going to be me, and hopefully the crowd loves it.
It's an amazing. It's like a dream come true. Everything came together at the right time, and I really feel like this is going to be a moment.
Good luck to you, sir. Can't wait to watch tomorrow night. Robbie McDonald, ladies and gentlemen. And the champion, Robbie Lawler. Robbie, this title is something you have worked so hard for. You are here now at one of the biggest events in the history of the sport. Give us your thoughts on Rory as an opponent. What tomorrow night means to you?
I'm the man. I'm going to go out and show him and knock his ass out. Thanks for coming. Here I come.
Robbie Lawler, ladies and gentlemen.
Face front. Jab. Thank you, guys. Good luck.